Hello and welcome to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Giancarlo Matera reporting from London. We'll be bringing you news reports from around the United Kingdom and Europe this week. And we have live reporters on standby, ready to give you their reports. On our program today, England is to drop quarantine rules for fully jabbed arrivals from France. And wildfires are causing extensive damage in various European countries. The first of our live reporters joining us today is Janelle Ann Kasuga. Hello, Janelle.
Hello, Giancarlo, and my report will be on how London's newly constructed Marble Arch Mound art installation beside the Marble Arch landmark have left mixed reviews, which was meant to draw tourists to the area.
Thank you so much, Janelle. Also joining us from Switzerland, we are joined by Christine Benedicto. Hello, Christine.
Hello, Giancarlo. Today I will be reporting about a mobile phone application that is tracking treasures being exposed by glaciers in the Swiss Alps.
Thank you, Christine. Also joining us from Italy, we have Venice Jarell Unai. Hello, Venice.
Hello, Giancarlo. Thank you very much. I'll be reporting about the use of mandatory green pass in Italy.
Thank you so much. And in our sports news, we are joined once again this week by Ryan Florentino. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Giancarlo. It's nice to be back. I'll be reporting on Team GB's boxing chance at gold, and shortly after, Sky Brown becoming GB's youngest medalist.
Thank you so much, Ryan. And we will end our show again this week with our view from our window, this week coming from Monaco. The main news headlines again. The UK government said last Wednesday it will ease English entry rules requiring arrivals from France to quarantine if they are fully vaccinated following the latest review of travel curbs. The change, which will come into effect at 4 a.m. on Sunday, puts France back on England's so-called amber list of countries under its traffic light system for arriving travellers. The government last month eased the rules to allow people from these amber countries fully jabbed with a vaccine approved by regulators in the United States and the European Union to enter without having to self-isolate. However, arrivals from France were the exception. Britain said it acted over fears about the prevalence of the beta strain, even though it mainly affected France's overseas territories, particularly La Réunion. But furious officials in Paris called the move discriminatory. France now rejoins dozens of other countries on the amber list, including many EU members and the US, which mandates virus tests before and after arrival for those jabs in these territories. Others must self-isolate at home for 10 days, including India, Bahrain, Qatar, and the UAE, who will be moved to the amber list after being on the red list, which requires a costly 10-day hotel quarantine on arrival. Other changes to the rules, which were reviewed every 3 weeks, will see countries such as Austria, Germany, Slovenia, Slovakia, Latvia, Romania, and Norway added to the green list. Travelers in the designation must only take COVID-19 tests before and after entering England, regardless of their vaccination status, and do not have to self-isolate. The UK government in London determines health and travel policies for England, and the devolved administrations in Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, they set their own rules that are broadly adopted from the same measures. Britain has been badly affected by the coronavirus pandemic, with 130,000 deaths within 28 days of a positive test since the outbreak began. But the UK government has gradually eased restrictions as vaccination numbers have increased, cutting numbers of hospital admissions from COVID to some 87% of all adults now having their first dose, and 73.2% having 2 doses, according to the latest government figures. Violent wildfires continue to rage across Europe and are ravaging Greece, Italy, Turkey, and even Albania and northern Macedonia. EU data shows that this year's fire season has been significantly more destructive than the previous average. Heat waves and strong winds are causing extensive damage, and experts say that climate change increases both the frequency and intensity of such blazes. Italy has not been spared by these devastating fires. In Sicily, firefighters in Palermo reported facing more than 40 fires on Wednesday. The fires in Sicily are just the latest in hundreds of blazes that have broken out across the peninsula in recent weeks, with one in the west of the island of Sardinia ravaging more than 30,000 hectares. Greece has also been battling fires that have destroyed homes and businesses across Athens. Large forces even had to be deployed near Olympia to protect archaeological sites where the first Olympic Games were held in antiquity. Summer wildfires are also affecting Turkey, where hundreds of villages had been evacuated from a burning power plant on Thursday. And while large numbers of people were being shuttled out by car or boats along the sea, there have been reports of older villagers refusing to leave the disaster-hit region. The European Union has sent help to a number of countries, including Italy and Greece, in the forms of planes, helicopters, and firefighters. It's time for a break now, but please come back for some more ENI UK and Europe edition.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Your weekly dose of entrepreneurial inspiration to update you on the latest developments in the world of business. Get up close and personal with CEOs and thought leaders to help you discover valuable insights. Sharpen your instincts for smart decision-making with the latest markets and economic trends, disruptive ideas, global innovation, social entrepreneurship, and other leading-edge business ideas. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business, from vision to action.
It's time to take one step further and face the impossible. Time to search the unknown and fight for the truth. Time to overcome boundaries and connect the world. It's time for DW News.
Events happen around us all the time, in our community, in our country, around the world. Events that affect people, move communities, or simply inspire us. Interesting events that people need to know. In these interesting times, we continue to be a competent partner in delivering news about these events. Fast, accurate, balanced, eagle news, because we live in interesting times.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. I'm Giancarlo Matera for some more interesting stories in the United Kingdom and Europe. The Marble Arch Mound art installation is a new attraction in London. And to give us an update on the reviews of its visitors, Janelle and Kasuga is with us today. Hi, Janelle.
Hello, Giancarlo. Thank you. And yes, rising from a busy roundabout in central London, it was meant to be a draw for tourists who have largely stayed away from the British capital during the coronavirus pandemic. But visitors to the 25-metre-high marble arch mound have been offered refunds after it opened on Monday, amid widespread disappointment and a great deal of derision. Let's listen in.
Look at it, and I'd heard such terrible things about it, and actually it's okay. I mean, unfortunately it's quite ugly with all the fencing around it, but hopefully that's temporary. And you know, I think it's quite interesting, the steps, the way they've sort of got the steps going, because it is how steps to very precious ancient monuments are built. You know, Great Wall of China, you know, it sort of goes like that, and I quite like, you know, that little sort of nod to it.
I'm not too sure about it. I don't think it's really been thought through. There's so many other buildings that you could go up to get a good view of London, and from what I've heard, the view's not very good when it's up there.
On Tuesday, Westminster Council admitted the glass-clad viewing platform, which was supposed to provide panoramas across the city, was not yet ready for visitors. George Smith, a London filmmaker, said, "I'd call it a white elephant, or maybe a glass-covered white elephant." He later added that this mound just appears out of nowhere, and it doesn't really fit the aesthetic of the city. Advertising posters for Dutch architecture company MVRDV's temporary installation, resembling a latter-day Hanging Gardens of Babylon, have appeared at tube stations. It has been billed as London's newest outdoor attraction. Photographs in British newspapers and on social media included a less than spectacular vista from the top of building rubble and recycling bins. One Twitter user posted a picture of the Teletubbies standing on their astroturfed home in Teletubbyland. Marble Arch Mounds opens to visitors at a cost of £2 million, they wrote as the aerial-headed children's television characters waved back. With visitors who previously booked tickets being offered refunds and no further tickets being given until improvements are finished, only a trickle of visitors were making their way up the stairs of the mound on Wednesday. Amid intermittent showers, families and day trippers climbed the steel steps of the structure in colourful anoraks, gripping umbrellas in the wind. At the summit in mid-morning, beneath a blanket of uninterrupted grey cloud, Robert Young, 64, and his partner were the only two people apart from the attraction's stewards. They had been given the tickets for free by a friend, but said their expectations were low. The views from the Mound, which is designed to offer a panorama of the capital's Oxford Street shopping district, Hyde Park, Mayfair, and Marylebone, have also come under criticism. The view of Marble Arch itself and Oxford Street to the east are blocked by surrounding trees, with summer providing a dense green canopy of the edge of Hyde Park. Young, a retired architect, said he wouldn't have paid the £4.50 admission, but said he enjoyed the views of Hyde Park, 253 hectares of green space in central London, saying it was like a forest. "It's always good to see London from up high," he said. "I am proud of the fact that London is one of the greenest cities in the world, and this just shows it," he added, explaining that the attraction was quite fun. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much, Janelle. Have you been to visit the structure yourself?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so just another question. What went wrong with this art installation then?
Well, the company who had created the installation had a different vision to what actually became reality. And visitors were also left bewildered by how the art piece looked at the end. For example, one of the visitors had noted that it dwarfs the lovely marble arch. The size of the new installation made the usual open space around feel claustrophobic. Also, despite the art piece costing an estimated £2 million, some have called it a joke. Giancarlo?
Okay, thank you so much, Janelle, for bringing us that very interesting report from London.
Thank you for having me. Reporting from London, United Kingdom, I'm Janelle Kasuga. We live in interesting times.
Okay, a new mobile phone application is helping to track objects released by melting glaciers in the Swiss Alps. So to tell us more on this story, here's Christine Benedicto. Hello, Christine.
Hello, Giancarlo. In the region of Valais in Switzerland, which is home to glaciers like the Aletsch, the authorities have a new tool that helps them track treasures that are being revealed by melting glaciers. Since the area is so vast, with the help of the Ice Watcher mobile phone application, the authorities seek the help of mountaineers who stumble across archaeological relics. The app is downloadable for free on mobile phones. It tells users not to touch anything they find and gives them the ability to log the location and take photos of objects they find. The information entered then enables the authorities to compile data and assess the relevance of the findings. Due to melting glaciers, relics of up to thousands of years get released. Although climate change is causing a devastating toll on glaciers, many archaeologists acknowledge it has created an opportunity to expand understanding of mountain life from thousands of years ago. Ice preserves and isolates these objects, but once out of this ice protective covering, the relics start degrading, which can quickly lead to their disappearance. An archaeologist and scientific officer at Valais Cantonal Archaeological Office says that most discoveries are not made by archaeologists. He estimates that there are around 5 to 10 discoveries of glacial archaeology per year. While a more widespread use is not yet in place, the app is for now only being used by Valais Cantonal Archaeological Office. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much, Christine. Using this app, what is the current status of our Swiss glaciers?
Well, unfortunately, Giancarlo, glaciers in the Swiss Alps are in steady decline. The Swiss Academies of Science have even said that just last year, the glaciers lost up to 2% of their volume. Experts like glaciologists estimate that 95% of the 4,000 alpine glaciers could even disappear by the end of this century. Giancarlo?
Thank you so much for joining us today, Christine.
Thank you for having me. Giancarlo, reporting from Geneva, Switzerland for Eagle News International. I'm Christine Benedicto. We live in interesting times.
Okay, it's time for another break now, but please come back for some more ENI UK and Europe edition.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced. Not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas! A 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Aguila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Aguila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to thank our help outdoor.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Welcome back to ENI UK and Europe edition. Now for some more interesting stories from around Europe this week. Protests are taking place in Italy over the country's health passport scheme. We're joined by Venice Unai with the details. Hello, Venice.
Hello, Giancarlo, and yes, after Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi announced an expansion of the country's health passport scheme and urged people to get vaccinated or face a new lockdown, protests were organized in more than 80 towns and cities across the country on Saturday, July 24th, starting everywhere at 5:30 p.m. Two protests, one organized by political groups and one organized by cafes and restaurant owners, take place in Rome against the government's introduction of restrictions on unvaccinated people. The health pass in use in Italy since June shows that people have been vaccinated, tested negative, or recovered from COVID-19 and is available in both digital and paper format. Until now, the Certificazione Verde has only been required for international travel in Europe, as well as facilitating entry to nursing homes and large events such as concerts, football matches, or weddings. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much. When and where will we need these COVID health passports in Italy?
So from August 6th, people in Italy will need the pass or a green pass to enter gyms, swimming pools, museums, cinemas, theaters, sports stadiums, and other public venues, including indoor seating areas at cafes and restaurants. It will serve as proof that bearers have either been vaccinated, undergone a recent negative COVID-19 test, or recovered from COVID-19. Business owners are expected to enforce the rules or face fines up to €1,000 under the decree adopted by the cabinet this week. The government hopes that the expansion of the Green Pass scheme will persuade more people to book their vaccinations, as Health Ministry data showed a recent slowdown in the number of first jabs administered. Draghi said the scheme was also being expanded as an alternative to new restriction and business closures, as the number of new cases recorded in the country has spiked. The use of vaccine certificates is needed to keep the economy open, Draghi said. He said that the alternative to the Green Pass and more vaccination would be the return of health restrictions, stating, "No vaccines mean a new lockdown." Giancarlo?
Thank you so much for bringing us that report this week.
Thank you very much for having me, reporting from EBC Bologna, Italy. I am Venice Unai, and we live in interesting time.
In sports now, Ryan Florentino gives us an update on Great Britain's performances at the Tokyo Olympics. Hello, Ryan.
Hi, Giancarlo. It was not that long ago that Wildfire was handling rubbish and picking up boxes in a car factory. He hated it. Now the Briton is vying for gold in an Olympic boxing final. The 28-year-old, who has two older brothers who are professional boxers, defeated Kazakhstan's Sakin Bibosnov in their flyweight semi-final in Tokyo on Thursday on split points, 3-2, favoring Yafai. Yafai now faces Carlo Paalam of the Philippines in Saturday's title decider and said, "It's the Olympic gold, isn't it, man? Olympic gold is crazy. Just imagine being an Olympic champion." It is a far cry from his long and demoralizing days at the car factory. "I was graffitiing, picking up boxes, dreaming of being at an Olympic Games," said Yafai, who made it to the Rio Games a year later in 2016, but failed to win a medal. The fight for gold will take place this Saturday, and we look forward to seeing the victor of the men's flyweight boxing. And next up, Sky Brown becomes GB's youngest medalist. Sky Brown and the teenage tyros of women's skateboarding blazed a trail for youth at the Tokyo Olympics, but a pair of old-timers have shown age is no limit. Japan-born Brown, who became Britain's youngest Olympic medalist, threatened to snatch a dramatic win with a flawless closing routine, but she was awarded 56.47 points to take bronze. Brown, born to a Japanese mother and British father, opted to compete for Britain in 2019, saying the team offered a more relaxed approach. Skateboarding is one of 4 debut sports aimed at reaching new audiences and in an ultra-young field. Only 8 of the 20 competitors were out of their teens. The podium had a combined age of 44. Denmark's Rune Glifberg and South Africa's Dallas Oberholzer, both 46 years old, competed in the men's park competition on Wednesday, a day after 13-year-old Brown won bronze for Britain. Both Brown at 13 years and Hiraki at 12 years were bidding to break an 85-year-old record to become the youngest champions in Olympic history. It was unbelievable, Brown said, of her medal-winning run. That marked a stark contrast to the women's park event in Tokyo, where 19-year-old Sakura Yosuzumi and 12-year-old Kokona Hiraki joined Brown on the podium. Another great week for Olympic sports, and we will be sure to keep you updated. Back to you, Giancarlo.
Thank you so much, Ryan, for that update.
Thank you for ENI Europe and UK edition. I am Ryan Florentino, and we live in interesting times.
For our view from our window today, we bring you the beautiful country of Monaco. The beautiful and sunny country Monaco is a sovereign principality found by the Mediterranean Sea. It is located 15 kilometers away from the French border and 8 kilometers away from Italy. Monaco may occupy a tiny territory compared to other West European countries. However, it prides itself on being one of the most luxurious tourist destinations. The country offers a vast amount of sites with panoramic views, historical spots, water activities, and expositions that attract tourists from all over the world. It also boasts of the sought-after mild Mediterranean climate. This video is courtesy of Maya Angeli Briones. Thank you so much for this beautiful view. And that's it for our program today. We hope you stay safe, keep positive as we bring you more stories next week from around the United Kingdom and Europe. I'm Giancarlo Matera, and we live in interesting times.